Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike and Alex. My name is Michael Mansour. I'm joined as always by my lovely co-host Alexander Volts. Say hello.
Hello.
And today we are talking about
Black Flag.
goddamn right. This is Every Album Ever, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, one artist at a time. That's a new discography, more or less, every episode. Ah, my God. This is a long time coming. It felt like in my heart. Black Flag.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know I've wanted to do it for a while because I've made some questionable life choices, like getting a Black Flag tattoo.
Really?
Yes.
You have a black, do you have was it the bars?
No. Yeah, it was the bars.
Uh-huh.
I was so embarrassed and ashamed by it. It's now covered up.
Really?
Later, I found out it is the most commonly fucked up tattoo in the history of tattoos.
Just in terms of like the way they're off a little bit, or the way they're
It's almost impossible to tattoo a good Black Flag logo because the way it's like so close and
they're just slightly off. They're slightly
and it's
off.
just straight lines. Like the worst thing you can get as a tattoo is like straight lines.
I think Henry Rollins looks pretty good, but it's small and it's also covered by a bunch of the dumb shit that he has.
Yeah,
it works for him though.
I'm sure his looks awful too, but
yeah, maybe I'm probably just biased.
After I got it covered up, I was like, oh, it's kind of like being in a fraternity. Like, oh, you have a fucked up Black Flag tattoo, so do I.
Yeah, that's an awful fret. But anyway, if you like us, want to support us, send all your questions or hate or love or suggestions for artists that you want to talk about, or you want to hear us talk about, rather, send all that to everyalbumever@gmail.com. And of course, be sure to check out the Spotify playlist on Black Flag that we've curated for everyone. There's a link in the description of wherever you're watching or listening, as well as on everyalbumever.com. Like, subscribe, share, all the things, or not, whatever. At this point, I don't give a shit. I like doing it. That's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
We're not doing it because people hear us. People barely hear it. I mean, enough people hear us, but still.
I got some friends that do share regularly, so thank you.
Yeah, and also, man, I'm so fucking bad at all of this stuff. I had to like literally calculate how much traffic we get like per month. I'm like, oh, that's more than I thought. But it's not like fucking crazy, but it's like, yeah, it's a lot more than I thought. But it also explains some of the hate that we've been getting recently, which I think is actually, I only know that it exists because I don't read any feedback.
I, on the other hand,
you check it out.
I have read them. I thought it was going to bother me more, but I just think they're funny at this point, which is why I like sought some more out. I like read one. I'm like, this fucking
There's got to be more.
There's got to be more.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, I don't even like, I like positive feedback, but I don't believe positive feedback really helps me improve because I appreciate it. And it lets me know that I'm doing something right, which please give me positive feedback. But negative feedback is what you need. But the negative feedback that typically comes from like YouTube comments or comments of any kind is not helpful at all. It's not helpful at all. It's just like, you're a fucking cunt. That's what they say. And even though I know that, I'm very cunty. I can't fix that. I'm sorry.
I'm almost hesitant to quote one of them, but he said we look like
ugly
Cheech and Chong, which
I mean, no.
So actually, it's just comments like that. It's like it's weird. It's so bonkers. Like I can't even get angry at it because it's so fucking like what.
Well, also like with shit like that, like it. Bill Burr points it out quite a bit on his podcast, like or in life actually. You're all cool until we talk shit about something you like. And that's just like, I mean, I'm okay with that. Like, that's fine. You can get mad at it like if you don't share the same opinion, but I'm not going to read it.
Also, like, if we, I guess some people think we're assholes, but I feel
I'm an asshole. No, there's nothing. No, that's
I feel cool. Like we're not just like it sucks, and then on in the next one, it's thought out, and we're actively listening to these albums. We're not just.
Also, there's one thing that I didn't realize until I was like fiddling with stuff today and writing tags and writing stuff for like posting that. I don't even like saying we review albums. I don't like that. I don't because I don't believe I'm reviewing albums. I'm listening to it and like if I like it, I like it, and I don't. And talking shit and making jokes, my opinion, like I said many times, means nothing. I'm not a critic. I'm a music player and lover. If I hear something I dig, I'm going to fucking point it out. If I hear something that I think is fucking weird and not cool, I'm going to say, hey, why is that weird and not cool? And that's what I do in my life. That's what everyone does in their life. But because we record it, we are asking for shit and bring it on. Because I'm not going to read it anyway.
You know what? Also, like, we don't get any comments from random people about like the positive shit we do say.
That's just not how people work, though.
No, yeah. So you have to be like, am I just being... You're like, no, I said a million good things that they're not even acknowledging.
Yeah, you don't. Human nature isn't to focus on the good; it's always to focus on the bad. That's literally a survival mechanism from evolution, which is actually true. You could look that up. And it's the same thing with like even reading negative feedback. I'm not going to read it because like if I get 5 good comments and 1 bad, like then you just get mad at the 1 bad, and that's just that's just how people are. And you're going to get mad at the things that you think are unfair, but there's plenty of things that are fair.
Yeah,
but you're not going to say, hey, every single one of those things is good and fair. You wouldn't do that. It's a fucking waste of time.
Oh, sure. Yeah, so far, they haven't rubbed me because it's just like, who are you?
Yeah. I mean, so it's also the internet. We grew up with the internet more or less. So, I mean, these people aren't real. They don't fucking matter.
Thank you for watching and commenting. So thank you.
Actually, keep commenting. It's fucking cool. I don't read them though. I don't even have the notification or the
right now. I got the skin for it. But
go ahead.
Who knows? If
by all means, Alex will read it and he'll do it. I'm fucking doing everything else. I'm tired.
If we like blow up and get some more, I might back out. But right now, it's at a level I can withstand.
And fuck, man, how do we get on that whole tangent? I mean, it's actually kind of appropriate because we're talking about the most not controversial, but the most fuck you to our fans and fuck you to popular culture and fuck you to the media band there is. Black Flag pretty much did everything they could to not fit in.
Also, I feel like our big 2 of SST will be complete.
Yeah.
If you want to go back and listen to the Minutemen episode.
Episode 16.
So it feels good because I feel like Minutemen and Black Flag are kind of like yin and yang. So we had the one half. Now we're doing the other.
Yeah. And I'm actually proud of us that we did the Minutemen first because that is unorthodox. I actually do. As much as I love Black Flag, I grew up with Black Flag. Minutemen are a more important band to me. I love them more. But Black Flag was my second punk band. I got into them through the help of my older brother, of course, at the tender age of 8. I think I was in 3rd grade.
You get into shit too young, man.
Too young, and it's why I'm a very damaged, pardon the pun, human being now. Oh, man. 8 years old to be listening to the album Damaged. Odd.
It is. You were listening to Pantera too?
Yeah. I was listening to Pantera as well. But Black Flag felt more like my brother's band. I really liked them a lot. And it was one of those, it's so funny how a person's insecurities manifest so early because when I was that age, I remember this girl, she was like a neighbor, I guess. She was like a friend of a neighbor. She was older. She seemed kind of cool. I had a crush on her. She was like a tomboy and she was really mean to me, but she also liked me. So it was like this weird kind of dynamic. And she would always ask me like what kind of, she used to call me Chucky too. I just remember that right now. Like I didn't even fucking look like Chucky, you stupid bitch. But no. She'd always ask me like what kind of music I was into because I was, even at that age, I was a music head. And I was like, you wouldn't know it. Like you wouldn't know it. She's like, well, just what is it? I was like, I like Black Flag. She's like, oh, my dad likes them. So yeah, but yeah, they hold a strong place in my heart. I had in my teens, I got into hardcore punk. I went deep dives on every American hardcore punk band, as well as I went into Europe and Finland and Sweden. I got into every kind of hardcore punk you could imagine, and Black Flag was sort of always like there as like my friend the whole time. Like, yeah, you don't forget Black Flag. Black Flag is the one you start with strangers because everybody knows Black Flag, and then you get onto shit like JFA.
yeah. Fucking just found out they exist. Yeah. It's amazing to me that punks think they like Black Flag because I don't think they do.
They were punk for a minute.
Or they're like me with the Star Wars movies where they only pick a few things that are canon and then they ignore the rest.
And I think none of it should be ignored. Boy, did they have a journey.
Yes.
My God, what a fucking incredible band. And this was, I mentioned briefly to you off camera or off mic that I had a lot of trouble with this one. It came down to the wire. I finally decided my best on the way over here. And I've had we both had trouble with some Sophie's choices on this thing. This is the one that I wanted to pick multiple bests and multiple worsts. Like they have all this range. They've done so much that I hate so much of it and I love so much of it.
Yeah.
This is a band that has done it all. Good God.
And 10 years too.
Yeah.
Crazy short amount of time.
Less than 10
maybe,
years.
Yeah, maybe less.
Oh, a little less. Maybe, 10 years is fair. It's probably give or take a couple of years. But that's my personal history. I have a long-standing history. What I don't know. Aside from your bars tattoo that is now gone. Oh, it's still there, but it's just hidden.
Yeah, you can.
That's the cover up.
Yeah, you can if you know it's there.
Hold on. That's a real good cover up because I fucking can't.
But yeah, it was right there.
It was right. I see a little bit of the edge. Right there. Yeah. That's it though. That's a good cover up.
Great cover up.
Yeah.
I was this real angry going through some shit and even though Henry Rollins is not a lyrical genius.
I think he's fucking gotten real good over the years. He's a good ass writer.
Well, let me say, not in Black Flag.
It was rough at first. Yeah.
But sometimes you don't need to be in. I was that angry that those lyrics, I'm like, man, to this day, I keep thinking, man, I want to wake up and not be able to relate to Nervous Breakdown.
Good luck with that one, buddy. Because
it's not gonna happen.
I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. So I was this really into that anger and rage they were putting off.
That whole scene was made by people who were you essentially, or us. Angry teenagers, they're all angry, and you always got shit that you. I mean, some people have it worse than others, obviously, but it is very, very gratifying to hear someone screaming the shit that you think only you think.
Yes.
It's perfect for teens. And that's why I got so into it, absorbed in it when I was at that age.
Yeah. I remember getting into punk and liking it, but thinking it was not as angry as I thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. Like the Ramones.
Yeah.
They have
that's just pop essentially.
Yeah. They have some touchy subject matter, but the sound is not really anything. She is. Yeah. So.
I mean, I'd mock it because it's funny, but that's fucking wonderful.
The Ramones are great, but it wasn't what I went to punk music for initially. So
yeah. I mean, that's such an early version of punk. It's it's like I said, I always qualify me saying punk with hardcore because hardcore punk is very specific, and it was so aggressive and it was so messy and it was so much screaming. Punk before that was pretty musical and rock and rollish, and it's gone through many changes since then, obviously. But 80 to 86 is the cutoff, and that's when all this shit happened. That's the sweet spot. That's even 85 is kind of when it died down, but 86 is the official cutoff. And then after that, that's why I always hated the Casualties and all bands like that came after, because you're reliving a thing. I'm sure you're cool for whatever you do, but it's a different thing. It's a whole different scene, and I'm not into it.
I will also say I feel like most good punk rock bands look nothing like punks.
They look like poor people. That's what they were.
Fucking are. Yeah. Greg Ginn, there's nothing punk rock looking about.
Dude is a nerd.
Yeah.
Giant lanky nerd.
Yes.
Who man, I don't know how I feel about Greg Ginn as not as a person, because I don't give a fuck about him as a person, but as a musician, he's so inventive, but so annoying. Like his playing and the things that he does musically are so fucking bonkers.
Maybe because I don't know anything. I think he's one of my favorite guitar players.
Dude. So the way I feel about Greg Ginn and his, if you've heard Black Flag or Greg Ginn, you know his solos and his leads, quote unquote, and you love him or you hate him. That's what I hear all the time. And I am neither. I don't love him nor hate him. I think Greg Ginn's soloing is a bunch of chimps in a room with typewriters. Eventually, he's gonna fucking land on a fucking Shakespeare. Like there are moments where it's just perfect and it sounds fucking amazing. They're ugly and they're strange and they're completely unexpected and completely untethered. And then it sounds like other songs. It sounds like he's just wiping his guitar with his ass. It has all the, like I said, with like the band in general, it has all the spectrum, all the good, all the bad, and that's how I feel about it. I think he's good. I think he's very good, but not always. My God, not always.
Well, let's find out.
Let's find out. So we're going to dive into, overview of the band. First, we're technically they have 7 albums, but we're going to be talking about one compilation, which is fucking paramount. You should all have that compilation, and one EP. So first EP came out in 1979. The last album was released in 2013. We'll explain more because I know we just said 86 was the cutoff, but we'll get there. Oh God. Okay. On to the first compilation. This is a compilation of the first 4 years of Black Flag. It has the Nervous Breakdown EP, the Jealous Again EP, the Six Pack EP, and the Louie Louie EP or single or whatever. That is the first 4 years, which came out in 1983. This has got to be one of the most famous punk songs ever. It's got to be.
Again. It's like he's trying to sound British.
Yeah. This is Keith Morris, who went on to form the Circle Jerks shortly after.
And for a short period of my life, I felt like he was everywhere I went. Like, I had to go to a Fat Burger. Oh, there's Keith Morris. Like, I don't know. He was just everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, like.
Oh, I used to think he was the most obnoxious living member of the punk scene because of his dreads. He's like super long to the floor dreadlocks, and he's the whitest guy ever. And he has glasses. Actually, let's get into it. That was Nervous Breakdown, the song Nervous Breakdown from the EP Nervous Breakdown, which is super famous.
Yes. So why are we doing the first 4 years instead of Everything Went Black?
Oh, see, you know what? Everything Went Black has like a million different versions of the same song. There's a bunch of outtakes, a bunch of I don't know why we're not doing it. I think it's just because there's too many repeats.
Well, no, because it's either this album or Everything.
This is more canon because these were the EPs that were released. Everything Went Black is like just a mishmash of a bunch of shit. But definitely listen to Everything Went Black if you want to hear more of the pre-Henry Rollins Black Flag. A bunch of songs that ended up on Damaged and stuff. They were on for, Everything Went Black. A million different singers and all interesting stuff. But in terms of a storyline, beginning to end, first 4 years is pretty essential.
Mm-hmm.
This is
the Black Flag punks like.
Yeah, pretty much.
And yeah, every song is
killer, fucking awesome.
And I think they're all classics. It's just fucking hit after hit after hit. It's wild. Yeah, it's so good. I think we should do, because there's 4 EPs. We should probably just dabble a little bit in each one because each one has a different singer, except for the last 2 have Dez. Both have Dez Cadena. But the first EP is Nervous Breakdown. The singer was Keith Morris, who went on to form the Circle Jerks, like we said. Very regular ass punk, but for 79, this was pretty aggressive. Yeah, this is crazy for 79.
Yeah.
And I don't know, even though I guess it's considered standard now, it's so like loose and fast and catchy.
Yeah. Extremely catchy. It holds up real well.
Yeah. It still like stands out to me. You can like throw on this album anytime with me. It's fine. There's never a bad time to throw this on.
After following this EP, which is
real quick.
Huh?
Did you know on the Nervous Breakdown EP there's no distortion pedal?
Really? That's channeling some Minutemen there.
Because they probably recorded in the same spot, probably because it's all that guy's spot.
This one, it wasn't produced by Spot, but he was like an assistant on it.
Okay,
yeah. Like
so where they were recording, it was like above a bar, and in the bar was a cover band playing, and so it's this like they had to crank everything up to drown it out. And so, yeah, that's what you get here. It's not distortion. It's just everything was turned up that fucking.
I mean, that's like a really natural distortion, quote unquote natural, because it's still a fucking amplifier. But yeah, that's a lot like D Boon from Minutemen. He would crank the treble, lower all the mids, all the bass, so it wasn't distorted, but it sounded distorted. Very raw, very raw. But after that EP is Jealous Again, which is the introduction to a Chavo pederast, also known as his real name, Ron Reyes.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. Dude, when we're starting fights with strangers who are musicians, he's my least favorite of the Black Flag singers by far. And it's not his fault, but every time I encountered someone in the not punk scene, but it was like people who liked punk when I was around, they always say like, oh, Chavo is my favorite. Like, you're a fucking idiot, dude. That guy's fucking bland. He's a generic ass. He did nothing interesting. He quit. Was it the first show?
Yeah.
I think he just walked out because he was like afraid of the punk scene. He's a fucking bitch.
Yeah. He was like so salty and like bitter too that like he moved to Vancouver, British Columbia.
Really?
Trying to channel my Nardwar right there. He's an asshole. Like they would like try to be friendly with him, and like whenever he knew they were touring in Canada, he'd call like the cops.
Really?
And be like, that like those no good troublemakers, Black Flag are gonna be in the country.
Punk bitch.
Yeah, dude, fuck him.
Dude, and objectively, his voice is the most annoying. It's the least interesting. He just he's like Keith Morris, but less interesting than Keith, because Keith Morris had more of a twang to it. Ron Reyes is just any guy from a crowd, here, sing punk, and that's what he is.
Yep.
Unfortunately, for that, or despite that, rather, good ass fucking EP. Jealous Again is a great EP. All the songs are awesome.
Yeah, the I don't know if that's like all Greg Ginn pulling it through.
For sure.
Yeah, the great thing.
Him and Chuck Dukowski.
The great thing about these singers is any singer could do another's song and it's not out of place.
For this era, when they were straight punk, absolutely.
Yeah.
And they did. If you listen to Everything Went Black, same songs sung by different people. It's all over the place. And it kind of, I mean, it's cool. It's interesting. And it's also fun that Black Flag's sound is so damn distinct that it's never the singer that makes it. It's always the songs. The band was distinct, not the vocalist, which is rare, I would say. Very rare.
Yeah, it's basically Greg's band.
For sure.
Much.
No, yeah. He's the main songwriter, Greg Ginn. Main songwriter, obviously the only consistent member. And I was trying to think of other examples of bands that are like that. And then I think of like, Anthrax had a bunch of singers, but people only like the Joey Belladonna. Like it's still like people still prefer Rollins. Huh?
I thought they had some fans of like the singer before.
Oh, Neil Turbin? That guy fucking sucks.
Before they like reunited.
No. Oh, Neil Turbin was the very first one. No, I don't know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. I don't recall his name.
Yeah, it was. They had like the zombie music video.
Oh, Jesus.
Whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, so what the hell was I saying? Whatever. Anyway, good EP. Jealous Again's great. And then after that is the introduction of Des Cadena.
Who would not want to sing, but stay on as a guitar player.
Yeah, he stayed as a guitar player after Rollins joined, but here it's the 6-pack EP and the Louie EP. I could do without the entire Louie EP, honestly.
I feel like this version of Louie should be put like it's the perfect party song to me.
It's like the
like when
cliche party song.
Yeah, like when it comes on, I just picture a keg going through a window.
It's Animal House the theme.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But as a song, I don't care for it. As a version of it, it's definitely good. It works. And this version of Damaged One, I don't like at all. Don't like it at all. I think Dez has a cool voice. It's way gruffer, way gruffer. But he's one of my lesser favorites.
I think he admitted he's not a singer per se.
Well, none of them are singers. Fucking none of them are singers. But his voice, it's fine, but it's definitely one of my lesser favorites. 6-pack. It's going to be on the next album, but I love that song so fucking much. 6-pack to me is one of the best punk songs ever written. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. And I think I like Dez's version better.
Okay.
I think so. There's something about that intro where it just has a great fucking build up and put on goddamn 6-pack.
I'm going to do it because these songs are so short.
They're so short. But like the intro is a completely different song than when the song kicks in. They're both awesome, but that intro, man, it fucking gets me going, man. Oh yeah, I'm already excited.
It's a good bass line.
Fuck yeah.
Who's playing bass?
Chuck Dukowski.
Still Chuck. Okay.
I believe so.
Chuck would not be their bass player, but still serve as their manager.
Chuck Dukowski is a very important member of
Yes, he's not necessarily on every song, but he's around the band.
Yeah, Chuck played bass on every song on this thing. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, nothing beats that, man. When the song kicks in, it gets fast and it changes.
Yeah.
But man, what a good fucking song. Anyway, this is a fantastic EP. Essential. If you're into punk at all, this is essential.
Yes, it's like I said. I think the first 4 years is one of those, like every punk should like that album.
Yeah. It's very
no matter what kind of punk you're into.
It's super accessible. So let's move on. Where are we at now?
Now we're in 1981, Damaged.
First official album.
Damn, the first time I heard this song, fucking
fucked you up?
So good, yeah.
Fucked me up too as a child. My introduction to Black Flag was this song, and it fucking wrecked me. And right there is Henry Rollins, young, fucking spirited, angry, snotty, bald,
pre-lifting weights.
Yeah, who's super skinny. If you're watching the video, you see the cover behind us, which is another legendary.
It's the most Henry Rollins album cover.
Yeah, it's also the cover of the entire punk subculture, I think. It's an angry dude
punching a mirror.
Yeah, with blood on his hand.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like everyone has heard that song at some point or another. It's fantastic, holds up phenomenally well. Okay, real hard. This was real hard for me.
It is real hard.
Best album.
Okay,
And this, man, I didn't want to, but then I did want to. And I kept going back and forth, and I don't know what to do. There's so much ugly and messy and shitty about this album. It's so shitty, but it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
Man, it's the sloppiest, messiest. It's a photograph of the hardcore scene.
Yeah. So we get some songs that were on the EPs. Yeah. I agree. Like the Rollins version of Damage is so much better.
Dude,
like
Damaged one, like I just said, the Des Cadena version didn't do it for me. What does he do on this one? What does he do? What's happening? He's losing his fucking mind.
Yeah.
He's going apeshit. He's screaming like I've never heard a human scream before. It's it's so fucking satisfying.
Depression is another song. I'm like, one day I want to be like, what are they talking about?
Dude,
I have no idea.
You know what? Here's something really sad about depression. Not the condition. Well, actually, a little bit about the condition. I'm a long time sufferer of depression. I'm sure you are as well. I'm sure most people are at this point. We live in America, but man, I had depression since I was a kid, and I remember my house had just gotten its first computer, and just YouTube was this thing, and all of a sudden we're looking at we could find videos of all these bands that we like. So I was looking at Black Flag videos, and my brother was next to me, and the first two results I think were live performance of Depression, and then right under it was a live performance of I Love You, which is from the following up.
Yeah,
and I was so insecure. I was like a kid. I was so insecure, and like I don't want anybody to know that I'm depressed. So my brother was like standing over me, and the video for Depression is like, in a minute and a half, and the video for I Love You is like 5 minutes, and I clicked on I Love You because I didn't want to give any inclination that I might have been depressed. Anyway, my brother was like, "Why do you put on Depression? It's like a better song, and it's fucking shorter."
It's shorter. Yeah. So I think is it Keith Morris on the original?
Keith Morris was on Nervous Breakdown.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm just confusing him. But yeah, Henry Rollins is this pure anger.
Yeah.
Like
pure. Oh my God. He's an animal.
Like, so yeah, Six Pack doesn't really work for me, but somehow he pulled off TV. Like TV Party is perfect with Rollins.
TV Party sounds great. It doesn't even fit in with the album. It's so it's so happy and like fun, and everybody's singing along.
It's so funny how that song's probably more prevalent now than when it was recorded with like binge watching TV and stuff.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so that's kind of funny.
This version of Six Pack I still think is real good. He adds a little cute intro. I got a six pack and nothing to do. I got a six pack and I don't need you.
Yeah.
He adds that in the beginning, but overall, I think I do like the Des version better. But it's fucking
Police Stories.
Yep,
phenomenal.
Absolutely. And these are all songs that have been on like singles, and you can find them all on Everything Went Black with different singers. But having them all in one package, and the way it's recorded in Rollins, it's like a perfect storm of beautiful horse shit. Because man, all you could hear is Greg's guitar, the drums, and Rollins. There's Des, who was previously a singer. He's now playing second guitar, which you can't hear a single fucking thing he's playing.
Which I think because Spot didn't like the idea of them having two guitar players. He felt
it was uncommon for sure.
He felt like it ruined their sound, but
I mean, it didn't make it better. Very few bands had two guitarists. A little later on, a lot of punk bands added, like The Faith added a second guitarist. Minor Threat, of course, added a second guitarist. There were a few. Black Flag didn't use the second guitarist as a second guitarist. It was just more noise.
Yeah.
And Chuck's bass is as distorted as the guitar, and it's way in there. It doesn't even.
So it's like three guitars.
Yeah, it's like three guitars in Rollins.
I like on Thirsty and Miserable when he goes, "Oh shit."
Dude, so many you could just take fucking sound bites from this album all over the place. It sounds so fucking bad, and but it works so well. Oddly, it's like I said, it's a beautiful photograph of this entire scene. It captures, I'm assuming because I'm a young child, what it was like to be at one of their shows. It sounds like a live performance, and everything is off. Like people are losing time with each other. It's all fucking all over the place. Greg's now throwing in his little crazy doodly doos and signature, his awful solos that work. They work real well on here. I like them. But the songs, there's even if you look, if you can look past all the messiness and all the dirtiness and all everybody falling apart, the songs are so good.
I think like Black Flag falling apart, or like Greg playing unconventional stuff, but like somehow cramming it into like conventional formats or songs that just seem kind of normal if you just have them in the background. Well, normal for punk. I think that's like part of the charm of Black Flag for me. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the band in general is charm because they essentially pioneered a few different genres.
Yes, they did. Like they're going
to change quite a bit.
Yeah, they're considered like one of the first hardcore.
Yeah, for sure. Them and like Bad Brains, of course. And I think
like,
was it Middle Class was another one that I think pioneered with their Out of Vogue.
Like,
EP?
yeah, we were talking about doing death metal.
Yeah.
Last episode.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about pioneers of hardcore punk. So
yeah, and it's still great. And I swear to God, this is not nostalgia. Me, like, it's the best because I was exposed to it so early, and I went through a long period where I was like, it's overrated and it's messy, and there's a lot of better examples of good hardcore. But even listening to it this time, I was like, it's real good and it still holds up, but I don't think it's the best. And then I went back, I was like, no, man, it really is. It's this is hardcore, man. This is what hardcore is. This is as hardcore as it fucking gets.
Yeah, it's almost like the EPs where some songs towards the end are a little forgettable.
I don't care for Damage 2 so much, and I think it's a little long.
Yeah, Damage 1 is better.
Yeah.
And then I like on Room 13.
Oh, I love that song.
You think the song's always about to end, but then it just keeps going.
Yeah. It always sounds like it's about to end, and then
I feel like
me alive.
Yeah, it kind of like feeds into the lyrics of like, keep me alive. I don't think I can do it, and then it does it. Yeah, like it's.
I need to move on. I need. Yeah. Oh, good song. Fuck, man, this album's awesome.
It's real good.
But if you've never heard Black Flag and you never heard this album, be prepared. It's not an easy to listen to thing if you're not into trash. Really.
Yeah, if you're a normal person.
Yeah, there is other albums they have that I think would be better suited for new people.
I just feel like with punk and metal, it's like, well, what is it?
What is good? What is good?
What is a good jumping off point for,
dude, I swear
for newbies? I don't fucking know.
I had a girl I dated years back, and she liked music, sure, I guess, but she didn't understand metal. And I get for people who don't understand metal, if you say it's not music, then you're a piece of shit. But there are people who do say that. I'll never understand that. But she was saying, how do you know when it's good? And it was like this weird.
It feels right.
Yeah. It was this weird thing where I was like, if I got to explain it, then he'll never understand, because I don't know. I don't know what makes, like, good riffs are one thing, but there could be bad riffs, but it's presented in a way that's real interesting.
And then Mike put out his cigarette, threw on his leather jacket, and rode off into the sunset on his motorcycle.
Dude, I used to wear jackets with studs, and fucking I smoked all the time. I still wore docs.
I was just joking because,
dude, I mean, this girl was way after that, but in my teens, I was a piece of shit. But great album, my best. Okay, now they go after this album. There was a lot of shit,
some lawsuits,
a lot of lawsuits.
Greg and Chuck actually served 5 days in jail because they tried to sue Unicorn Records. And then Unicorn Records countersued. The judge was, I guess, if you like get countersued and like you lose, you're fucked.
Really?
So they served like 5 days in jail
instead of like paying a fine.
Or that might have been part of it, that they were poor. But yeah, so for a few years they couldn't like release anything as Black Flag.
Right. And I remember reading probably an American Hardcore, which is a great book by I'll look up his name in a second.
It's so crazy how many, like, I haven't read them all, but just like recommendations like American Hardcore, get in the van, spray paint the walls.
There's countless. And
there's so many like
Our Band Could Be Your Life is a real good one.
Oh yeah, that's the other one. Like so many good, like I don't even think metal has that many good books about the genre.
Well, it's a really romanticized genre scene or subculture, because it was so short and it was so aggressive and violent, and it was like, and then, it was controversy from beginning to end.
And then not a book, but Decline of Western Civilization.
Oh, great movie. Well, the first one was on the hardcore, or it was like beginning of hardcore. It was like it was Ron Reyes era Black Flag, I believe. X, A Fear, Circle Jerks, I think. Germs, I think, were in there before Darby Crash died. The book is by Stephen Blush. I knew it was Stephen something. American Hardcore. But as I was saying, I think I read it that like they couldn't even really play because or they couldn't really play new music because Ginn was so paranoid that people were going to steal the songs because he couldn't copyright them or release anything.
Oh yeah.
So there's a demo that it's called the 1982 demo or something. Demos from 1982. It's with Chuck Biscuits of Danzig and DOA. He was on drums, and it's real good. It has like songs from the My War and earlier songs. Like it's good.
Also, I have no relation to Chuck Biscuits. If I'm clean shaven,
When you're clean shaven, you look just like the motherfucker. Jesus Christ. Anyway, next album. So after all that, it lasts a while. So the next album isn't until 3 years later.
March 1984.
My War.
Yeah. Sorry.
I thought you were going to scream it.
No.
Little less punky. All of a sudden, the drums, they're good.
Oh, is this Stevenson?
This is Bill Stevenson, the man.
The best.
The best. Oh, wait.
You're one of them.
Oh, fuck yeah. So if you listen to like the rhythm of Ron's vocals, this is like all of a sudden this is him doing it now. Before
No, these
he was,
are all his songs.
yeah, like before he was just screaming over songs that were already written. This is like interesting phrasing, and obviously he's losing his fucking mind as you can hear. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Personal favorite.
Personal favorite.
Personal favorite.
Man, dude, I wanted to give this best so fucking bad. I wanted to give this best, and this is regarded, I mean, it's a pioneer. I didn't realize how many fucking genres they created. They created sludge metal on this album.
Yep. That's why it's my personal favorite.
They fucking invented sludge metal.
Side 1 is for punks.
Yeah.
And side 2 is for sludge metal people. Yeah, like they ended up, I don't know if it was a number of records, but they ended up putting sludge metal bands Saint Vitus out on SST. So that's cool.
Really?
Yeah, side 2 is just fucking amazing.
Like 3 songs, super long, super slow. It's like a direct spit in the face of punk, which it feels like it.
Also, side 2 helped get the skinheads away from their shows because skinheads love punk music.
Interesting.
And then they were like, fuck this band. So good. It did two things. It invented sludge metal and Nazi punks.
Dude,
fuck off. So
the fact that we have the Melvins because of this album, I couldn't be more grateful.
It's insane how hated this album was.
I completely understand it. And I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
But I fucking get it. This was hardcore was as fast as possible and as short as possible. These are the slowest, longest songs.
No, from that perspective, it makes sense. But I don't know. I feel like obviously there were fans though, but like, I don't know. I feel like there should have been some music reviewer that's like, these guys are doing.
Critics are garbage. Critics fucking blow. And that's why I emphasize we're not critics, goddammit. We're music lovers and fans. Critics don't have a fucking dick to stand on. That makes no sense, but it doesn't matter because to say don't listen to this because I think it sucks. That's fucking retarded. That's fucking stupid. No, give it a shot regardless of what someone says. And especially if you go back or if you look at retrospective reviews of a controversial thing, and then you look at now it's like glowing perfect tense, and then you look back then it's like people don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
And to say you're an authority on art is fucking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. This is a great album.
Well, actually, I just got my license.
Oh, you just got your art license? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I just got my art license.
Fantastic album. And growing up, these songs were kind of always all Black Flag songs are kind of in rotation in my home, but these ones I remember very vividly, and I like them all, but they never really stuck with me. I never understood as a kid or as a teenager why this one was so influential or great.
Mm-hmm.
And then going back this time, I'm like, fuck, this is so good. I love this album a lot.
I always knew.
You always knew. Yeah, you knew.
See,
that's why you're a good critic.
I feel like Canticide, much better songs about depression than depression is, ironically.
I love them both, but it's such a good song.
I think this suits Roland's style.
Oh, for sure. He shines. And actually, I think Canticide is my favorite Gin solo or my favorite Gin guitar, period.
Yeah.
It's so good on there.
I Love You. It's got that weird More Than a Feeling riff in it.
Yeah.
Real interesting.
It's a great song. It's actually kind of pretty.
And then like 3 Nights when he's like, I'm going to make that body pay. It's like almost, almost sexual.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fucking
like, I like to
dark.
think there's like dudes and ladies in the audience like, ooh, yeah, make that body pay, Rollins. And then the best Rollins performance ever on Scream. He's like, I get fed up. I blew my cool all over the place.
Oh, it's so, man.
Scream's like one of my favorite Rollins performances.
During this album, he is unleashed. It's hard for me to think of other examples where he's this consistently fucking crazy. Man, he has one of the best screams of all time, and he destroyed his voice because of it.
He went full broken Matt Hardy on this album.
Absolutely. That is another wrestling reference, you sack of shit. But, and I don't even know what else to say. Like, if you haven't heard this, it's kind of a really definitive Black Flag sound. Like, they went through all kinds of fucking changes. It doesn't sound like, punk Black Flag for sure. But this is a very distinguishable sound. Like, you hear this and you can say like, oh, that's what Black Flag was.
Yeah. The reason I almost gave this best, but I went personal, is because like, if you're not down with this album, like just stop now, because it's only going to get weirder.
Yeah.
Like hold on to your butts. So,
but different weirder. This is like the slowest and sludgiest they've ever been. And it's kind of it's a very dichotomous record where literally the first half is like these really cool rocking. It's not quite hardcore. It's slower and kind of heavier. And then the second half is it's like they're completely different bands.
Yeah. My mind was just like blown hearing it for the first time. Like, oh, you can play whatever you want.
You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
It's goddamn America.
So refreshing.
Jesus Christ. So
yeah,
it's struggle for me to not give this best. Like,
if you like slow sludgy metal, this is a must.
Absolutely.
Must listen.
Also, before we move on too quickly, not too quickly, we talked about this for a while. We talked about Bill Stevenson a little bit, the new drummer. Man, I didn't realize how much I fucking loved his drumming until going back. Like I think he was a longtime Descendants drummer.
Yeah, I think so.
And man, he's so good and so creative. Like the song Swingin' Man, which I don't really care for, his drums make me like the song. That's how fucking good he is.
Yeah, he's like, I know Black Flag has all these different incarnations. There's only one incarnation of Black Flag for me. And we're coming up on it.
We're coming up on it because on this album, Greg played bass under the pseudonym Dale Nixon, I believe.
We're missing someone, so
we're almost there. So let's move on to the next one. This is the same year. What month is this?
Now we're in this was released September 1984. This is Family Man, and I'm gonna skip a few tracks.
Oh, you're gonna skip a few. Hey, you're not doing a job, right, buddy? You're gonna skip a few tracks? No, put on the title track for a second. Okay.
Do you want the Family Man or do you want the Swingin' Man?
There you go.
There we go.
Family Man.
The Candy Man.
Hey, everybody, you're listening to the first half of this fucking album. Okay, now put on the song you were gonna put on.
This is my way.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Music.
This is like a 9-minute song. It's crazy.
It sure is 9 minutes.
And now we're joined by Kira.
That's Kira Roessler?
Yes, this is in my mind, definitive Black Flag.
This is the longest running Black Flag lineup. Kira Roessler, she was once married to Mike Watt of the Minutemen. and then they played in the band Dose together more recently. She seems cool.
Smoking all that shit. No place to go.
All right. So,
But yeah, I have no interest in seeing whatever version of Black Flag is running around with Mike Vallely as singer, or Flag with Keith Morris.
Yeah.
I only want
this version of
this
Black Flag.
version.
So, yeah, least favorite. Fuck this album.
Oh wow,
Dude, I really fucking dude, this album pissed me off so much. So, okay. This is a very it's not a concept album per se, but it's like a conceptual album. First half is all spoken word. Second half is all instrumental with one
meeting
song
in the middle.
Yeah, which is the song you were hearing, Armageddon Man. The spoken word stuff is so fucking atrocious. It's, oh my, dude, okay, the title track, the first song on the fucking album is a cliche of all bad poetry. Family man, family man, family man.
I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man.
It's so fucking shitty. And then, Let Your Fingers Do the Walking is a fucking new metal song without the music. Let your fingers do the walking. Let your fingers do the walking. Let your fingers do the
I forget which one it was. I like when he said, I want to crucify you to the door with all the unused nails in your garage.
No, man.
I love that visual.
It's so fucking douchey.
No, I don't care for the spoken word stuff. That's not why
That's a whole half of the album, though.
I feel like it's so short, though, and much like I feel like Black Flag is all about side 2 of their albums.
I guess.
I love side 2 so much that saved it
really
for me.
I didn't even like side 2. And
damn, son.
So Armageddon Man, the song with, it's not even him singing, he's just kind of speaking over it. He's spoken wording over the music.
That's what they should have done.
That riff is fucking great. The fact that it goes on for 9 minutes is not. And then the only other song,
I love it.
I'll let you gush after I shit all over it.
I don't have that much to gush about.
Fair
I'm
enough.
just saying I like it.
Well, I like what's the fucking song called?
I'm sticky.
Yeah, any of you, unless and until I can stick all of you. Stupid song title is very long. Cool ass riff still goes on too long, but it's still cool. I could see how that one can hold up, and I still see how a lot of this is interesting. It's like this weird. There's almost sludginess. It's all jazzy weirdness.
Yeah, fucking. They have a song called "Pups Are Dogging It." But yeah, so the instrumental parts, I feel like that's more like a good middle ground of the experimental and the punk stuff. Outside of Armageddon Man, that's just pure great weirdness.
Dicking around. It's dicking around.
I feel like Kara and Stevenson are fucking rocks.
They're good. They're the most consistent rhythm section that they've ever had up until this point.
This is the most consistent lineup too. Yeah,
it's a good lineup. It's a real good lineup. But man, especially coming from My War, what the fucking holy hell, man?
No, yeah, the spoken word stuff. I'm not.
Jesus, it's rough.
I'm not gonna throw that on ever again.
Oh my god, I listened to it twice.
If you're like me, the instrumental stuff is real good.
Put on a little bit of something you like from the instrumental stuff because it's so different. It's so weird and jazzy.
Stick any of you?
Okay.
That's kind of like a Greg Gins playing in a nutshell.
Yeah, and it's odd with how good the drums are too. Isn't that shit?
Like I said, rock solid.
He's such a good fucking tight drummer, man. It's weird hearing him with this messiness. It's cool.
See, imagine Rollins being like, family man.
Family man.
Family man. Like it can work.
It's stupid. But I still think that's a pretty cool song. It's so long and it's so improvisational. And Greg Ginn is not a good guitarist. He's not a bad guitarist, but he plays wrong notes on purpose, which is cool for experimental type thing, not as a fucking 9-minute improvisational jazz thing. When you're purposely hitting wrong notes for that long, I want to shoot myself.
Well, I think because, we're not talking about weird music unless we bring up Ornette Coleman. So
Yeah, he's come up quite a bit.
yeah, so he was another Ornette Coleman guy. Also for you, it's kind of like jazz, but prog rock. He's a big on Mahavishnu Orchestra, which is like proto Mars Volta almost.
Good band.
So I could see why he really liked Birds of Fire, which, like, if you guys haven't heard Mahavishnu Orchestra and you like fucking weird proggy shit, check out Birds of Fire.
Dude, I got into them late in life because of you. Very late in life. And goddamn, that's good as hell.
Turns out 9 out of 10 people who listen to Mahavishnu Orchestra, it's actually because
Really?
No, I'm just fucking around.
That would be pretty great.
I account for 90% of the new listeners.
I just took a drink of this water, and this is like gonna be a deviation of our music talk. I think there's something oily on it because I taste salt in my mouth, and it's like
weird.
Well, I'm having a stroke.
Or maybe because you're gross and you like warm water, I warmed that up for you, and you just let it sit there. So maybe this like condensed.
It makes no scientific sense.
It just fucking got. I don't know.
Maybe I'm just losing. Maybe you did have a stroke.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Does it smell like toast, Mike?
Oh shit! I taste iron. Is that bad? No. So now we're on to the same year. Same year, 84. 3 albums in 84. They're making up for lost time.
Released in December. Well, also backtracking a little bit, like most of My War was written in 82.
Yeah, hence the 82 demos and stuff.
Yeah, so they're literally making up for lost time. Yeah, this is December 1984. Slip it in. This one of the sleaziest fucking songs.
The stupidest fucking songs. Jesus Christ. Let me look at the album cover, man. For Christ's sake. It doesn't even make any sense. Come on. I got a boyfriend. This is happening. Haven't you ever said to a girl, this is happening? That's my favorite line that I've ever used on someone. This is happening.
I should look up, like, if Henry Rollins has, like, commented on this song recently.
I mean, he's a fucking kid. And this dude was like a recluse anyway. Even these days, like, he didn't talk to girls. By his own account, as far as I know. I actually like that. It's very Gin, but it's also very cool. Also, the breaks, they're off. I love that it's off.
Yeah.
They're like extra long on purpose.
You're like, coming back? No,
Yeah.
no. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a beat and a half longer than it should be. It's great. I love that. You're loose. Slip it in.
I don't think it's like Kira either. It's someone else.
Really? Did she refuse?
She should have.
Yeah. Then you slip it on in. In. All right. Okay. What a fucking dumb song.
I feel fucking dirtier for listening to it.
Dude.
I also feel dirty for giving him my best album.
What?
I think this is the best album.
Shut the fuck up.
Because what I said earlier, about like, okay, this to me is the good bridge between punk and the weird stuff. This album right here.
Really?
I think it is.
Holy shit. You completely caught me off guard. I was not expecting you to get this best.
So to me, this is where the two paths come together on this album. And like I said, like if you're not down with this album, like I'm sorry, it's going to get fucking more strange.
I disagree. So, I don't think this is like a one for everyone. I think it's a very specific album.
Well, I do think it's a specific album, but I think it
encapsulates.
Yeah, Black Flag better than any other one particular album.
Mm-hmm.
So like, fucking Wound Up following Black Coffee.
Wound Up.
That's kind of funny that it comes on after a song called Black Coffee.
Yeah.
You're Not Evil is fucking amazing.
I hated that song.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
You think you're evil, but you're not.
Yeah, there's like Black Sabbath riffs on it, but it's like, it's still punky. Rat's Eyes, fucking.
What a weird fucking song that is.
Rat's eyes, rat.
Yeah, so I think it's really hard because they've done so much crazy shit. It was really hard for me to think of like what is definitive Black Flag if you could only do one album. And like I think it's this album.
Really?
You got a taste of punk, you got a taste of metal, you got a taste of math, jazz stuff here and there.
I will say that I do believe The Bars is one of the best songs by far.
Real good.
And it's funny because it's like it's just the same rhythm, almost the same riff as Slip It In, the title track. It's like it's the same exact thing, but just way better. Put on the bars. That song is fucking. That's and it has so many different sections, each one more interesting than the one before. Slip it in. Same fucking thing, but it has a lot of tackles a lot of moods. This song, it's interesting,
and that's why I think the album's the best. It's a lot of different moods.
It does. It has a lot of range.
There was a girl I knew. She's on the prison inside. She cursed her keeper.
God damn, Rollins has a cool voice. Great.
Every time I see, I got my hands up around the bars. I want out right now. She made our angels fly.
All right. There's parts of the song I want to get to, but it's like it's too long. It goes a lot of places. It's real cool, man. I love My Ghetto, and it's the only song they have that sounds like that.
My ghetto.
It's fucking insane. It has this weird rhythm to it.
I forget. I think Manic Hispanic they parody a lot of songs.
I mean, that's they're just a parody band.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up.
Was it my audio or something?
I mean, it's already it's already called My Ghetto. There's not really.
You can I don't know. Ghetto's pretty bad.
You can make it more Hispanic.
You can. What is it called?
Shit. I don't think I can. Damn, I can't find it.
I'll do some Googling in a second. But what else? I'm still surprised this is your best because I listened to this one a lot as a kid, and it was like one of those things where I was so young that my family didn't think I knew about sex, but I had horrible influences, so I knew about sex at a very early age. So my brother would like always skip the first song because it's all just sex sounds and moaning. And I was like, I wonder what's gonna be on there. I bet it's sex sounds. Like the whole time I knew.
Yeah,
the album's gonna slip it in. Like I don't fucking know.
Yeah, like I said, it covers a lot of ground, and that's why I think it's the best because I don't think Black Flag is just anger and damaged. I think it's a fuller, more complete band. So, yeah, maybe they didn't. Maybe I'm just thinking of something else. I don't.
I don't know. I like it. It didn't stand out as a best or a worst or anything. I think it's just because as much as I appreciate songs like Rat's Eyes, I don't really enjoy listening to it. It's just so wacky. And every riff is so ugly. Every riff is so purposefully ugly. And I like that to a degree.
It's like what The Lighthouse is. It's just so fucking weird. It's maybe not for everyone, but goddamn, I think some of the best.
If you don't like The Lighthouse, I don't know who you are. I don't know what that means.
Say it. Say ye liked me lobster.
Hey, go on, say it. Say you're fond of me lobster. Say it. Sorry.
And then you go into like a 30-minute rant and then...
About Neptune and
fine.
Poseidon.
Fine, have it your way. Like you cooking.
Man, we watched The Lighthouse. It's so fucking good. But that was
limited. You smell of piss and you smell of jism.
I'm bringing Jism back. Or maybe this album is because it's fucking disgusting.
The title track is so bad.
Slip It In, 1984. This is Alex's best. Good album. Well-rounded. Weird and ugly. But very cool.
Perfect for Black Flag, I think.
Weird and ugly band. We are on to 1985. A whole nother year. A whole separate year. Unbelievable. This is Loose Nut.
Whoops. Give me a second.
Oh,
I done fucked up.
you done fucked up. You put on the wrong one there.
Put on the wrong album.
Here we go.
Even though I have it. Okay, Loose Nut.
Listen to that reverb. It's the same song. It's more section.
It's not a good opener. It sounds like it's live.
Well, it's the reverb. And there's reverb, too much reverb on the vocals and on everything. Mostly the drums and vocals. But I'm gonna shut it down. Loose nut in my head. I bolt the line between my legs. I can't think straight. My mind's a mess. I only see straight when I'm being led. Loose nut.
God damn it.
Okay, that was Loose Nut. That is a cool song. Personal favorite.
Whoa.
Love this fucking album. Love this album.
I am whatever about it.
How dare you? I'm going to send the Wrath of Neptune on you, you son of a bitch.
I do like Annihilated this week.
It's a great song.
Best one yet. Also up there.
Very cool.
Modern Man.
Yep.
Great sludge intro.
It was
Cool.
Great intro. I think it was co-written by Chuck Dukowski, who was gone at the band from this. I think
He's probably still their manager.
Yeah, he was kicked out by Henry Rollins. I don't think he
I think Gideon wanted to.
He doesn't have,
But he's just a coward.
He's a coward. It's funny because from what I remember of the account, we're already late because Kira has been in the band for a while. Dukowski was kicked out after sometime after Damaged. Rollins kicked him out, and he was still the new guy in the band. He kicked him out as the new guy, and he didn't even consult like any other member of the band. He just knew that, yeah, this is time.
Yeah.
And he did it, and it was like, everyone was like, yeah, I guess you made the right call.
Yeah.
It's so weird. How did that happen?
It's so very Henry Rollins.
That dude is
That's one
very
of the most
fascinating.
Henry Rollins stories I've ever heard.
He's such a weird, awesome dude. I fucking love Henry Rollins. But this is still the same lineup. You know, Bill Stevenson on drums, Kira on bass. And I love every song on here. I've always liked this album. I didn't think I would continue to love it at this age. I didn't think I was going to go back to it and love every song as much. And I do. I think every song is awesome.
Again, I think they're great closers. I like
She's Black, or Now She's Black.
So good.
Fucking insane. The places that song goes.
Good. Yeah. And like another weird one, I'm the One.
Oh, great song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unlike anything they've done. This album, I think, more so than everyone or most before it, kind of sticks to the same mode.
Mm-hmm.
There's no side one, side two dichotomy like the past couple. Everything sounds kind of the same. It's like this kind of jock sounding punk rock, where it's heavy for punk, but really, really wimpy for metal.
Oh, you mean the album called Loose Nuts is jock?
All right, it's not great. All right, lyrically it's kind of stupid. Fair enough. But like Bastard in Love, it's like a pop song.
I don't think I cared for that one.
How could do you like fun, Alex? Is that what you
Obviously not.
Okay.
I like mutilating myself and then having to mutilate myself some more because I fucked up on the first mutilation.
That's a lot of mutilation. Jesus Christ, dude. You're working yourself. Oh man, This Is Good. Did you mention This Is Good?
No.
Okay.
No.
What's the one you mentioned?
I mentioned Modern Man. I'm the One. She's Black. Best one yet.
This Is Good is so ugly, but it is somehow very catchy to my brain. Put on a little bit of it. I don't know if I'm out of my mind. It's, again, very ugly like a lot of the stuff, but it just feels like almost poppy and pleasant. Listen to the guitar. It's so fucking dissonant. So dissonant, but it still feels catchy.
Yeah, it's like a swing.
Yeah.
And the upbeat. Yeah.
In the chorus, when we get to the chorus, it is even more. It's very Greg Ginn arpeggiated ugliness that he does a lot. Still somehow catchy. Just give it a second. So see what I mean about that? It's still dissonant and it's still off and ugly, but it's like poppy. It's weird. It's a very unusual song, and I like it a lot.
Yeah, you do.
The most condescending thing Alec has ever said to me on this podcast. Wow.
I'm allowed one. I'm allowed one.
You sack of shit. Go slip it in somewhere else, you motherfucker.
I'll slip it in all over the goddamn place.
I think it's a great album. I do think Sinking is long. It's okay, but it's just so long and it drags on. But I love this album. I think y'all should check it out. All right. On to the next.
Okay. Hopefully I have the right album.
This is you're on it now. This is 1985. Oh, what month? We're gonna have 2 more releases in 85. So
Loose Nut is March, and then this one is September 85.
Okay.
This is The Process of Weeding Out.
EP. Say, that doesn't sound like Kira.
It is.
It is?
Yeah.
Really? Interesting. I never knew she played with her fingers at this stage.
Yeah.
In the band. Because for sure on Loose Nut you could hear it pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is all instrumental and it's fucking amazing. And then the name of the album was because Gin was in the process of kicking people out.
Well, it's literally called The Process of Weeding Out. And, well, Gin has a history of kicking people out of things. Yeah. Very experimental jazzy.
So, yeah, that's...
For lack of a better term.
This album is kind of why I put Slip It In as the best, because I think shit like this is just as much part of Black Flag's DNA as the other stuff is.
You can hear a little bit of Gin's noodling. It will go on because the song is how long?
It's like 10 minutes.
10 minutes. So it's an EP technically, but it's like 30 minutes.
It's longer than
any EP
Minutemen album.
It's longer than a full-length Minutemen album. Yeah. So it might as well be an album.
Yeah, might as well be an album, and also unlike the other EPs, it's not thrown across other, but I think it's an EP worth going out of your way to hear and listen. It's real interesting. A jazz website actually wrote about this.
Really?
What website was it? Because I'm gonna kind of paraphrase them. Allaboutjazz.com wrote about this.
All about jazz.
And whoever wrote that article pointed out, in the 80s, there's kind of a void left by jazz players where they weren't experimenting. It was this Kenny G,
oh my God,
opiate for the masses, just boring people to death. And that's what people thought jazz were. And that Minutemen and Black Flag kind of carried that torch better than a lot of jazz players.
Talented for one.
Yeah.
Well, not that Kenny G's not talented, but he sucks. So
yeah. So yeah, I thought that was an interesting point to be made about Black Flag and Minutemen. How punk kind of picked up that torch the way mainstream jazz wasn't, or as mainstream as you could get. What was it?
Man, your dogs are going bananas.
They're going wild. Yeah, he also thought it would have been cooler if you combined this with Family Man.
Oh, and just eliminated the spoken word half?
He didn't say that, but yeah.
I would say that.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea to package this with Family Man. Oh. And then there's I came up with this weird canon while listening to this. If you listen to My War, Slip It In, Family Man, The Process of Weeding Out, then Loose Nut, I think that makes more sense sonically.
Well, Loose Nut is very, I don't want to say traditional, but it's pretty accessible.
Yeah.
And this, I think, is awful.
Oh,
I let you go on for a while because
you did.
I did not enjoy this hardly at all.
It was my recommendation too.
It was
not on the list. And I'm I want to talk about it.
I didn't realize that it was a standalone kind of thing. I thought it was just sort of a spin-off, but it's pretty no, this is I wouldn't say because it's all instrumental, but it's just as Black Flag as any other Black Flag.
Mm-hmm.
But just like the second half of Family Man, it is so much dicking around,
I think it's more solid than Family Man.
I think there are more like interesting moments, but like for example, the final 8 hours of the title track, because that song is like fucking 30 minutes long.
Hell yeah, it is.
It's so cool, and then I immediately lose it once I see that it has 10 minutes left. I'm like, fuck, dude, I can't listen. Like,
it's like they heard Minutemen and were like, that needs to be 10 minutes.
Yeah, that needs to be. It's a cool riff for a punk song, or a little deviation from a punk song, but as a jam kind of thing for that long, it doesn't do it for me.
Does it for me?
Does it for you? Alrighty, man.
But yeah, I think it's a great little EP that like if you heard like the first 4 years and then you heard this, you're like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
No sense.
But I think in the band's career, it makes a lot of sense. So
within context, for sure. Yeah. To say you like Black Flag is as a spring-loaded statement.
Because there's so much.
I don't like this EP album thing. Fuck. But I at least appreciate that it's so weird. Mm-hmm. It's so weird. And if you like experimental, wacky jazz, crazy, like just really abrasive music, which
like good rock, or I think it's good rock instrumental.
Oh, dude.
If you're a fan of instrumentals.
If I would hesitate to recommend this, I think it would rub a lot of people the wrong way.
I would recommend it to cool people.
That's such a fucking vague term. If you're cool, you know.
If you listen to Mahavishnu, you'll like the process of.
I disagree because I like them. I like Mahavishnu, but fuck, I didn't like. Enter with caution. It's interesting as fuck, but it is hard.
Or don't be lame.
We're just gonna get catty now.
This turns into an episode of the Golden Girls.
If we should be so lucky. God damn. Okay, we're on to 85. The same goddamn year.
This is October 85.
Month later. This is the final, quote unquote, final album. This was the last Black Flag album for many years. This is,
to me, it's still the.
Yeah, we're giving away shit, but everyone saw this coming. If you've heard of Black Flag, you know what we're going to talk about. 85, this is when the band fell apart. This is when Rollins became his own man. Essentially, this is In My Head. Yeah! Man, I said the name of this album really funny. In My Head. Also, that's a cool riff.
It's a great riff. This would have been a great swan song.
Sure would. So, reverb is still all over the place. Rollins' vocals are way down in the mix. He might as well not even be on some songs. This is a weird song.
It's kind of a weird album. It was supposed to be a Greg Ginn solo album.
Shit, might as well be.
Originally. Have you heard the story about how the band like broke up or ended? It's so weird. Like,
I know it was a disaster, and by this point, even before this, Rollins and Ginn hated each other. Rollins kind of hated everybody in the band. He said some pretty unkind things about each member.
Damn, I didn't know that. The thing I heard was Greg Ginn, or the way Rollins says it, is Greg Ginn called Henry and said he quit the band.
Yeah.
And he like hung up the phone. He's like, but it's your band. So the band's over.
Yeah. Well, I quit.
Yeah.
I remember Rollins saying that, and I don't think it's been disputed or anything. And I kind of do trust, not just because I'm a huge fan of Henry Rollins, but he's a great storyteller. He's kind of regarded really well by all of his peers. He seems really honest, and no one's called him on anything. So I trust pretty much most of, or not all of what he says.
You know what a good deviating a little bit. You know what a good Henry. I don't even know if it's stand up or spoken word.
He's not by his own account. It's spoken word. It just happens to be funny a lot of the time.
I like.
He's not a comedian.
I don't even remember the story, but there's a story where he ends up putting his like dick on the toilet, like this slamming the fucking like lid on it.
On his dick?
Like, I forget what was going on. I'm going to have to look that up.
What?
But, it's a crazy.
I remember a story of his where he tried to jerk off in a hospital with a cast on his hand, on his right hand or left hand, because he's left-handed.
I wonder if it's related to that.
It was on one of his spoken word albums. I think it's called Think Tank. Some of those albums are real fucking good.
This coming from the guy who doesn't like Family Man.
Family Man. No, because his spoken word is not the right. He's a storyteller. He's just telling stories about his touring and his travels and his encounters. Even now, if you watch, like, he has like a special on Showtime. It's more storytelling. Just happens to be very funny.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think 1 year at Coachella, I caught like the closing minutes of a spoken word Henry Rollins set.
I would love to see one of his sets.
I'm like, it's too fucking hot. I don't care.
Fair enough. I mean, that motherfucker is always wearing black anyway. Also, he's a maniac.
I like to think he was shirtless when he was.
I wish he was still shirtless, dude. He's now graduated to the nice, distinguished, elderly black slacks, black t-shirt, which is a very unusual combination of clothing.
And Def Jam Fight for New York, was he shirtless?
He was. He was wearing sweatpants.
Also, that's a video game.
That's a video game.
A wrestling video game.
Dude, it is a wrestling video game based on rappers that Henry Rollins was in, and it's
one of the best video games ever made.
Shit, yes, it is. As a kid, I didn't listen to rap, but I listened to Black Flag, and as soon as I found out Henry Rollins was in a fucking fighting video game, I was all over that shit. I was all over that shit.
Also, Danny Trejo. But back to
that's right. So this album, I think, man, what a misleading first 4 songs. Misleading.
Hold on.
I'm holding.
I like Black Love a lot. I think.
Which track is he at one of
3?
Okay. Cool.
That's just like evil metal math rock, which is kind of the album in a nutshell with some punk peppered in.
I like the first 4 songs, but what they're like an extension of kind of the process of weeding out, like the weirdness, the strange, the crazy jazzness, the super odd time signatures. What second track? What's the name of the second track? I have it written down. But look, the Crazy Girl.
Damn, Crazy Girl.
Yeah. Everything about that song sounds incorrect from a musical standpoint. Everything about it, I still like it. Put on a little bit of it. It's the most abrasive. One of the most abrasive songs, I think.
I never thought about this.
First of all, Rollins is creepy as fuck.
Again, evil metal math rock riff.
Yeah. So as soon as it kicks up, it just falls apart so much more. And then it just falls apart. And it has that pretty bass line in the background. And then it kicks up again. And then it falls apart again. And then it goes back to that. It's so dissonant. Every note is incorrect. Everything about it is wrong. And it somehow kind of works. And I still like it. It's bizarre. It's a bizarre fucking song. And that's kind of the first 4 songs. Then it gets to track 5, the title track.
Track's real fucking
good. It's real good. And then from then on, from 5 all the way to the end, every song, fucking killer. Every song is like, I wouldn't mind showing this to a regular music listener.
I could do without Retired at 21.
So could I. It's the weakest of the bunch. Still not bad. But obviously the title track, like we just said, I Can See You is fucking gorgeous.
That's like
I never thought I would use that word.
Version. It's like the lyrics you could do for like a standard like 60s psychedelic song.
It's real pretty. It's dreamy and pretty. I never thought I would use those words to describe any Black Flag song fucking ever, but it's legitimately pretty. What else? It's All Up to You. Fucking great. Fucking has these really pretty female backup vocals during the verse.
I think that one is Kira.
Is that Kira?
Yeah.
What else? Drinking and Driving is wacky and fun.
That's
crazy.
like that's like a kind of a throwback a little bit.
It's more punky for sure, but it has that.
Wait, did you talk about Out of This World yet?
No, I don't believe so.
That song could be on Damaged.
Dude, I wrote because I'm an idiot. The bass line to Out of This World is Out of This World. Hey,
I mean,
it's a great bass line.
I do those kind of puns almost the opening of every podcast.
That's true. This is true. The first four are so bananas and impossible for me to recommend, even though I do enjoy them, that
Black Love all day.
It's almost like Greg Ginn was like, we'll make the first handful of songs really, really difficult, and then we'll give them a good, like, only the true fans will. Obviously, that's not what he did, but it comes across that way.
I know that was an argument him and Rollins had, was like you said, they were like making up for lost time, and Rollins kind of felt like, he's like, well, the fans are stupid, but also some of them can't like keep up. We're evolving so quickly, like they can't like digest what.
Too good. We're too ahead of our time.
In his defense, he didn't say that.
I know.
But he's like, why don't we just like do something that sounds more like Damage to let people breathe and catch up and realize what we're doing. He paraphrased it like that, which seems like a way more
stroking the ego of Greg Ginn a little bit.
No, more like a good diplomatic way to say slow down.
Fair enough. I actually lost track of myself. I was about to, like earlier, I was mentioning about the vocals being buried. I'm pretty sure it was on purpose because of how much Ginn hated Rollins at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Like purposely made his vocals almost inaudible because they're very quiet.
Yeah.
Everything's really reverb heavy. Kira's not on here. She's not playing bass in this one.
She is.
I don't believe she is.
Well, the Wikipedia's credited her.
No, not to my memory. Hold on. Maybe
you're on your computer. You go there.
Because from what I remember, it's another dude with a weird name.
Is she not credited?
No, she is. Oh, then maybe it was. You know what? Maybe it was after. So there was another bass player after her.
No, yeah, there was.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Like, I think she, like, shortly after this came out, she was.
Yeah. It was some dude. I want to say he was Hispanic. I think he might have had long hair. I'm just remembering from like a live performance, and it was a dude who looked nothing like he would be in Black Flag. Like he was like, it looked like he was
much like Greg Ginn doesn't look like he'd be in Black Flag.
No, but he looked like a handsome dude who was in shape, like put together, and he was playing the bass correctly. It was like he was playing a bass player. I was like, wait a minute, does he play his instrument? Like what the fuck's happening? No one in here can play except for Bill Stevenson. What the fuck's that?
Kira can.
No, she's fine, but she's not like you could tell she's like self-taught, like a regular ass person.
She's like real young in this band. I mean, most
people were a teenager.
Yeah.
How old was she compared to the rest?
Sure.
Because the Black Flag was one of the earlier ones.
I know she was going through college though. That was part of why. That was part of why they hated her.
They hated her because she was in college.
They're like, "How dare you get an education? Like you're in this band 100%."
What horrible influences?
Yeah,
dude. That's to be fair, I would be one of those guys because I went to college, but I fucking would not do it again. I would not advise myself to go to college if I went back in, But she seems to be doing cool now. I don't know. But I didn't know she recorded on here. I thought it was the other guy, but he came after. It was all very bitter, and I think it was this album. I'm not sure if it was the artwork for this album or if it was for some kind of flyer, but for all Black Flag album covers except for Damaged, they were all done by Raymond Pettibon, which is Greg Ginn's brother,
who also came up with the name of the band.
Yeah. His obviously real name is Raymond Ginn, but went by Raymond Pettibon. His art style extremely distinct. If you're looking at the cover behind us on the video, very exaggerated features, very pen and ink style. It all pops. You know Raymond Pettibon when you see Raymond Pettibon, and I think. Bill Stevenson, the drummer, got a bunch of his. I think he made something or made a flyer or made a cover by cutting up the original pieces by Raymond and like collaging them together or something of the sort. Pettibon did not like that. He was furious and he completely stopped talking to Greg over shit. It. And I think to this day they're not cool. Really? I'm not entirely sure, but for decades. No, not on speaking terms, because Bill Stevenson went at his artwork and Greg Ginn gave the green light on it.
Well, I don't think Greg Ginn's cool with anybody, right?
No, except for cats. Greg Ginn's a big cat advocate. I don't know if you know this. He does like a lot of.
Oh yeah, that's
like
that was part
fundraisers.
of why they got back together a little bit.
Long time ago.
Yeah, it was for a cat fundraiser.
Cat fundraiser. What the? I don't. I'm not. Listen, I'm not anti-cat, but I'm
guess
very,
why?
very confused.
Sure.
To bring back the band that holds so much disdain and history, and so many different people are involved, and so much of American culture is involved. I'm bringing it back for Cats.
Yep. I mean, again, it's not the lineup I cared about. So
No, but Greg Ginn is Greg Ginn. Greg Ginn is Black Flag.
yeah,
And the reason why I say Greg Ginn is Black Flag is because of the next album, the actual final Black Flag album, canonically.
fucking better be the final.
It fucking better be. Alex, what is this? What are we about to experience?
This is 2013's What the.
Oh boy.
I put off listening to this album until today.
Really? Today?
Until today, because I was so scared.
So was I.
It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Same here. Okay, so this sounds like ass for one. It's produced like by someone who was not experienced producing, I would say. Let's lower this. Let's talk now, because that opening song was very unusual, little different, little regressive, I would call it.
Well, I mean, we expressed our love of Reyes, so for some reason he's back.
The worst Black Flag singer is now back.
The fucking
for
narc.
a reunion. The fucking narc. Okay, let's for anyone watching the video, or if you're not watching the video, rather, look up the cover to this album. What the fuck is that?
It's fucking awful.
What the fuck is that
It's
horse shit?
real bad. It looks like a little kid Nickelodeon album cover.
I drew better than that when I was an infant. What the fuck is? I'm so confused by all of it.
So it's not awful, but it's not good either. It's
Worst album, by the way.
Oh yeah, worst album. Yeah,
Obviously worst. And this is objective. I didn't know if I was like least favorite or worst, because I really hate Family Man. I really hate that album. I swear to God, I fucking really hate it. But this one, as much as I don't,
it's not even a competition.
as much as I don't dread a lot of this stuff, and I hear like that's not bad, or like this is passable, I don't get infuriated when I listen to it. It's the worst. It's fucking not good.
It's to me, it's bad because it's way too long. It like wears you down. Like
it's 45 minutes, something like that.
It's way too long.
22 songs.
Like compared to like late era Misfits, I think it's better than anything.
Oh yeah. Oh, for damn sure. But if I had to choose between listening to this or late Misfits, this 1,000%.
Yeah, but it's not fucking good. The tracks I did kind of like were Down in the Dirt.
Yep. Very. I think it's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
The Bitter End and To Hell and Back.
Yep. Tell him back for sure.
Yeah, those are to me the like some good Greg Ginn guitar riffs, but
I think he goes too far on the fucking solo parts. I think he's still what this album is. Why this album fascinates me is that it doesn't. Despite all of the crazy shit that this band has done and all the changes that they've gone through, you always kind of know it's Black Flag. Ginn has he has a distinct playing style, but his writing style is also pretty damn unique.
Mm-hmm.
Here doesn't sound like that. Mm-hmm. This is literally 30 fucking years after they broke up, and it sounds like a different person. I mean, he is a different person. For 30 years, will change a person. It sounds like if this was not a Black Flag album, I think it would have been well regarded. I don't think it's a good album, like objectively.
I think if this was like 20 minutes, I don't think people would be so harsh on it.
I think they would have. I think it still would have.
Really?
Because of the politics of it. The fact that I believe this exists because Keith Morris and was it Chuck Dukowski?
Oh, and Stevenson.
And Stevenson,
even though he didn't play.
No. they were touring around as Flag, playing Black Flag songs.
And I think they were using in the show, they were using the logo.
Which is, well, it's uncool if you're the guy who wrote all this, who owns the band, wrote all the songs, was there from beginning to end. I could see why Gin was pissed. I completely back him on that. I don't back.
The judge didn't.
The judge didn't?
No, the judge was like, no one would confuse the two. They're not selling anything with the logo on it.
They're not. Yeah, but they're making money off of his work. Legally, there's a loophole, I guess, but it's there's no spin. Like
the argument was also that there's enough publicity that you would have to be stupid to think this is Greg Ginn's Black Flag. Like,
well, people are stupid, and
people are stupid.
I don't think people are going to confuse. I think the judge is correct on that. But like, have you heard of Black Flag?
Yeah.
So that's not a slur. I mean, it's a slur, but it was a tribute band, a Black Flag tribute band with dudes dressing in drag and being all extra flamboyant. They probably weren't even gay. Actually, I have no idea. I saw them once, but I never did more research. They're obviously covering the songs, but there's a spin on it. At least there's like a fucking showman aspect. They're doing it. This is the Black Flag you guys like. All right, fucking you know who we are. We're gonna play some songs you guys like. That's banking off of his name.
Yeah.
I don't agree with it. But I also disagree more with this album. I disagree with the fact of rushing out a piece of shit album with a shitty singer with half-written songs just to be like, hey, I'm Black Flag. All right. Remember me, guys?
It's so weird. Like, he must hate Chuck. He must hate Bill.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Hates his brother.
Yeah. Obviously, you know, Rollins, Kira, like, it's just like, fuck, man.
Professional bridge burner. Yeah.
Man, I mean, on one hand, good for, although you're kind of dragging the name through the mud now.
Yeah, the name has been tarnished. I think if he would have just swallowed it and let Flag do their thing, the legacy of the band would be a little better.
Or he like one-upped them with the definitive lineup.
What did he?
No, I'm saying that's what he should have.
Oh, he should have. Yeah, for sure should have done. Yeah, absolutely. But he burned the bridges as far as I know.
Fucking do that. And he said, let's get skateboarder, turn professional wrestler, turn internet fight video star, turn Black Flag singer Mike Vallely. I think it's Vallely.
I don't even know how it's spelled, honestly.
It's kind of spelled like Valley.
It's not Valley. I know it's not.
But it's pronounced Vallely. Good for that guy. All those things he's doing, I wanted to fucking be. So good for him.
Fair enough. I only knew him as a skateboarder for the longest time.
You never saw the video where he beats up like 5 people in a parking lot?
Oh, that was him?
Yeah, that was him.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
you know what? Good on you.
And then he was pro wrestler for a little bit.
Fuck.
I think he's in the Hangover movies. And then, he's a singer of Black Flag now. So good for him.
So I wrote so many notes on this album.
Oh, man.
So many notes.
I didn't even want to wait. But like, whatever you think is prevalent to say. Okay.
All right. So, okay, look, this is what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to come in here shitting all over it like everyone else has, because everyone is shit on this album. It's the second it came out. The
second this artwork.
I have a strong hunch that a lot of them didn't even wait to finish the whole album before they started shitting on it, because a lot of it isn't terrible. There's a lot of, especially in like the first half, maybe. Ginn's doing some interesting guitar lines over generic as fuck bass lines. And that's what I thought going into this, was that it was going to be 45 minutes of generic ass hardcore that I've heard a million times. It's not. It's generic bass lines, generic riffs, but presented in a way that's very Greg Ginn. It doesn't sound like his songs, because like the bass lines are just, regular ass punk. Like it's like, it sounds like Ginn decided to try and write a punk song. Whereas before, Ginn was just unhinged from beginning of Black Flag to when they broke up the first time. He was always just doing a new thing. This sounds like he's trying to write punk songs.
Yeah.
So
trying to give the fans what
the fans. I'm sure that's what he's doing. It sounds like generic hardcore through the filter of Greg Ginn's insanity, which is actually interesting. I think it's interesting. It's not enjoyable. I wouldn't recommend it. But dude,
if he got like
a spare fucking year of your life, maybe dedicate 45 minutes to it. But I will say with fucking staunch dedication to this statement, punk has not been interesting since fucking 87 when the last punk band died, essentially. I've never used the word interesting to describe a punk band in the 21st century, and I never thought I would, but this is interesting.
Shout out to Idols. Idols is real interesting.
I would put them above punk. I think they transcend it. I think Idols is a fantastic fucking band because they do some stuff that's, I would feel more comfortable calling them noise rock than punk because they're punk-ish. We're talking about a fucking current band now, but they're real fucking good. Listen to Idols.
What about, I guess they're more like 90. What about Refused?
I don't think I've heard them.
Whoa!
Oh no, I've been discovered. Oh no,
man!
On live recording, I've been discovered as a fraud.
I'm gonna give Mike a stern talking to after this podcast. By stern talking to, I'm gonna play the Shape of Punk to come for him again, or Nick Coleman shit. So
okay. So like I said, interesting, but not in a good, satisfying way. It's just Greg Ginn's wackiness over regular ass punk.
Yeah, I definitely want to check out the band he started, Gone, because I've never listened to that before. Almost like immediately after, I think.
After what, like 85? Or after this album?
In
my head.
Yeah.
After in my head. I never heard him either. I think about it way more often than I would ever imagine. How does he make a living? Like, what does he fucking do? He doesn't just live off Black Flag royalties. It can't be that much.
I think it is.
I mean, they are pretty iconic. The branding of it. The bars are so...
Yeah, it's not like Misfits.
No, but it's
up there. It's up there.
I think it has more legitimacy than Misfits. Like, it's just as common, but it seems cooler somehow.
Oh, yeah. It is cooler. It's better music overall.
It's different. I don't know if it's more.
It's not fair to compare.
No, apples and oranges. Earlier on, I think it's more of an argument.
Even though you got the Dez connection and you got the
that's right,
Chuck Biscuits connection.
Dez played on the worst Misfits album. I'm not even gonna say the fucking name of it.
What a wasted lineup.
Dez, man. Dez and Robo.
Yeah, man.
Robo.
Robo.
Yeah, well, Robo also played on Earth AD. But he played, I think, only on Damaged.
You talk about what punk band.
There was all kinds of incest going on. Yeah, it's all.
We'll be here all day.
All fucking day. So this is the worst. I'm so glad we're done. This was I don't know. So let's recap. Alex, what are your picks?
Personal favorite, My War. Best album, Slip It In. Worst, What the?
Best album, Damage 1981. Personal favorite, Loose Nut 85. I went out of order. Least favorite, by a fucking long shot, Family Man 1984. And of course, worst objectively is What the? I mean, you really can't argue with that. It's unfortunate too, because if this album was not released,
we would have fought because I would have given Loose Nut.
What?
Yeah.
What? How? Oh man, you could have went the whole episode without revealing that information, and we would have been
That's
fine.
what people come here for, though.
Oh god, I love that album so much.
I know you do.
Oh.
We would have full blown argument.
Hate Family Man. Oh man, but thank you so much for listening and watching. I had fun.
Who's getting last song, essay?
Hey man, I was grandfathered in for Black Flag. Okay, all right.
No,
no, you could choose it. I picked the last one.
All right.
As long as you don't pick, please don't pick something from fucking Weeding Out or Family Man, you son of a bitch.
Dude, I wanted to pick something from Process, but whatever.
Oh, you son of a bitch. What, like the 10-minute song?
Yeah, I still might pick a 10-minute
You
song.
piece of shit. Thank you so much for listening and watching. And of course, if you got any questions or comments or hate or love, or you want to suggest an artist for us to talk about, please send everything to everyalbumever@gmail.com. Also, check out the Spotify playlist on Black Flag, as well as every other episode that we've done. Links on everyalbumever.com, as well as the descriptions of wherever you're listening or watching. Oh, man.
Also, this to be a perk real quick. Another reason I think I get last song is because I destroyed my body for Black Flags.
How do you mean?
With the tattoo.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, you did. You know what? You earned it. You earned it right there.
I earned last song today.
Goddamn. It was all worth it. In the end, it was all
like one day I'm going to start a podcast where we switch off picking last songs, and this will totally be worth it.
Absolutely. Of course, you can follow me on Instagram at Pope Jesse Ventura and Alex at
Mother Puncture.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. Okay. All right, Alex. Closing song.
It's not going to be that bad.
No, I'm not dreading that. I'm just like, I'm trying to
Processing
take
everything.
the whole episode. I'm glad we did this. I had fun. I'm getting into talking about these things in more detail. I'm actually making a valiant effort to not just say, fuck it. Fuck it. I didn't like it. Because why don't I like it?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think spoken word is fucking stupid. And that's why I didn't like Family Man. Okay. All right. What's the closing song?
So I'm going to play Scream off of My War.
Nice. Thank you for listening. Once again, for the millionth time, I keep saying it. See ya.